right, let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. I am merely Beau. He is the great Z. I love this hoodie, this lightweight hoodie you're in right now. Not on.
Oh, yeah?
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
All right.
That's nice. It almost looks like one that you would have made because it's so perfect. Rarely do you see a hoodie with that. Clearly not, and nor would I ever anticipate that. But it almost feels like a custom job because it is such a nice,
it's
light
a great material.
Layer.
Yeah.
The material looks sensational, and you don't have the bulk that comes with typically with a hoodie.
No, it's like a super soft T-shirt.
May I feel it?
May you, please.
Oh my gosh! It almost feels like a homage or a GV artwork.
Right, T-shirt, but just in a thin sweatshirt.
A T-shirt hoodie.
Yeah,
I like that. That's really nice.
Yeah,
really very very nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Can't say that about out there.
So here's the news. The countdown's on. Okay, give us 1 week. And then I feel like we're going to be okay. And I hate it. I listen, Cinco de Mayo, love Cinco de Mayo. I'm excited for the 6th. I know you've got a vacay coming up, so you're going to get out of this no matter what. But I'm hoping to maybe get some golf in on the 6th, maybe the 7th.
No chance.
Not looking good.
Oh, my God. It's 93% chance this weekekend.
Stop.
Of rain.
No.
I mean, it's just a slog.
Something's got to change. But then look at next Tuesday.
And then you've got the one nice day over the weekend is Mother's Day.
And
you can't get a hall pass on Mother's Day.
No, of course not. Look what happens next Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
So
I will return from Southern California Tuesday night.
And receive
80.
And
then be received
80,
with,
80.
Yeah. High to mid-70s the following week.
Yeah.
With little to no chance of rain.
That's right.
So we just have to get through this.
We just got to get through this. But maybe we'll get a break. Maybe Friday will be better than what we're hoping for or what we're expecting currently, which is not good. We're not expecting anything good, but I want it to be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of rain, buddy. I mean, you got Cinco de Mayo Thursday.
Great
Kentucky Derby Saturday.
Oh, my.
Mother's Day
It's usually
Sunday.
Great weather on the day of the Kentucky Derby.
When I took my dad for his 60th birthday, it was straight slop. Straight in the mud, and it was brutal. Now, I had, knowing this and knowing that my lovely mother, God rest her soul, was going to be involved, I wanted to be undercover. So I paid, I want to say like $500 a ticket.
Jeez.
To sit in a box at Churchill Downs, which could very straightforwardly be described as a box of 2x4s. Old wood 2x4s, metal folding chairs, and a 12-inch TV that we shared with about 4 other like boxes. In fact, I don't even think just the 4 of us were in the box, which was no bigger than your side of the desk. I want to say there were 6 people in the box, so 2 people we didn't know were in this tiny box with us. And I remember just thinking there are 2 ways to do the Kentucky Derby. You either go straight steerage and have the time of your life in the middle and get mucked, and
let's go
and have all the cocktails and be in the middle and see nothing and have party, or you got to go ultra wealth. No middle class with the Derby. You go ultra wealth upstairs. You're in Millionaires Row. That's it. There's nothing in between. The in between is death.
It's terrible. It's rotten.
Yeah, it's $2,000 and you can't see anything, and it's.
So wait a second. You couldn't even see the track?
Yeah, you could, but I mean, there's a huge overhang. So really, all you could see was like probably a 50-yard stretch. Like we were right by the finish line, so you got to see if they finished like right near us. Just past it, so you could see that.
Sure.
So you could kind of see that, but as soon as they make the turn, they're gone. You don't see them, and then you don't see them again until they come around the corner. You really couldn't see anything.
Why?
Well, it's a big track, so the only way you can see it is if you're way up. Just like NASCAR. Have you ever been to like any NASCAR IndyCar races or anything like that?
I can't say that I have.
Lucky you. No, they're fun too. But
I bet they're great fun.
They're really better on TV because you can see everything, or you got to be high enough up. You're talking about a 2-mile track.
Sure.
A mile-and-a-half track. You got to be up high enough to where you can see everything is the only way.
Sure.
The same is true of Churchill Downs.
Wow.
I do think the mint julep is underrated. It's a refreshing delight.
It is a delightful treat.
It's a delightful treat. Yeah. And they serve them with like Sonic ice. So it's like a slushy.
Like that.
Pretty smart on their part too, because you get a little hydration with it. So there's that. And then so we have all those things to look forward to this week. It's going to be fun. Cinco de Mayo in California for me.
It's going to be great.
Feel like that'll be a win.
How could it not be?
Feels like it. Yeah. Going to be hot. But it's in the brochure. The Browns are
I don't know. Were you sympathy
no,
for you?
not at all.
It's going to be pouring rain here.
I know it. It's going to be 97. warm.
It is warm.
Yeah, rather warm. I got it. By the way, you guys will both love this. This is. I want to read this verbatim because this is an actual alert. This is an actual alert that I got from my weather app. Okay.
Okay.
Human remains stuffed in barrel found.
Las Vegas.
More bodies are expected to turn up as water levels decrease. You're exactly right.
And the remains are estimated to be 4 decades old.
4 decades.
So there's going to be a lot of mob bodies popping up.
Up in cans.
When did we talk about that? Was that last night
yesterday,
or right after the show? Right after the show, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
got
think
that
it's
alert.
amazing that it's
incredible alert.
The line is like more bodies are expected to turn up as water levels decrease.
Are they, or is someone being sent out to collect them later?
I feel like they know that. I feel like it is. That's not said from pure speculation.
No, I mean this isn't from like a news service. This is from AccuWeather.
It came originally from the Las Vegas Police Department. Was the original
many more to come.
issue.
Expect
many
more.
So do you think we're going to maybe get like to the bottom of some great unsolved mysteries? Do you think of disappearance of people? We've got
think it would
right?
be in play if anybody wanted to look into it. If you were looking into,
don't you want to know who's in there?
Casino's based on a true story. That was based on a true story.
Take people out to the desert. I'm saying, don't you want to know who? I want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are. Like is Bugsy Siegel?
Right. How many great people of consequence do we not know where?
Whatever happened to him?
What happened to him from that
bottom
period?
Of Lake Mead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty incredible one.
All right, we made a move yesterday afternoon signing tight end Marcus Santos Silva. We'll use the word tight end loosely because he's never been that. In fact, he's a basketball player, a 2-year basketball career at Texas Tech, a lot of points, athletic dude. Did not play high school football, which is a pretty interesting thing, but 6'6", 261, and that works.
Apparently, he had an interest in it. I mean,
yeah.
Or do you think maybe the Brown? I don't even know. I'm curious to know how this came to be.
So that's what I said this morning was, how does he get in front of NFL people to the point of saying, I'm interested in pursuing this? Like, does he put together a tape? Was he discovered? Remember, because we had Dorse, and Dorse, who did he discover? Who was the guard? The tight end?
The tight end, Demetrius Harris.
Demetrius Harris. He found him playing basketball.
Same in Fells got discovered that way because of his brother.
Right. So did Santos Silva put a tape together? How did that come together?
These are questions that need answering. And hopefully we'll get an answer like that at some point. I will give you this because I can't say that I was dialed into Texas Tech hoops. And perhaps you were.
I watched him play once this year, and I don't recall him.
My buddy Todd Derry says, quote, as a Big 12 hoops junkie, I can tell you that Santos Silva is one bad beep dude. Can totally see him being a solid NFL tight end, especially as a blocker. So he's got plays with the mean streak. Plays with the mean streak. You love that. Love a big guy. I mean, he's going to be athletic, and he's 6'6", 261.
Yeah.
Because the irony is that's a big human being in the world of just any world other than in big-time basketball. 6'6", 261 in big-time basketball means that you're –
you better be a guard, buddy, because you got to shoot.
But you're probably not.
But you're probably not
because you're 261.
Yeah.
So you're an undersized 4.
Yeah, these guys. What's interesting now with name, image, and likeness in college sports, like there's a kid that won National Player of the Year at Kentucky, Oscar Tshiebwe. So he was probably he's probably a second-round pick, maybe a borderline late first. He's going to make more money next year at Kentucky playing for Kentucky than he would have had he gone pro.
Yeah.
And it's all above board now.
And now people are getting paid to transfer.
That happened at USC. Yeah, there was a receiver that won the Biletnikoff Award who was incentivized to go to USC. The hard thing is these money.
Is that Addison?
Yeah, the money is thrown around like I saw $3 million in a house and all of this. None of that's verifiable because this is all done through these collectives, which are just nonsense. But so who knows what the number really is? But nevertheless, he was under no incentive to transfer. Very happy with his time at Pitt. Just won the award, and instead is going to go play at USC. So
the schools that have the biggest booster networks with the most money are going to be able to just buy everybody they want.
Yeah, here's the problem though, and this is why right now there's a lot going on, and I don't think anything's changed at this point in terms of the hierarchy of college football right now. It's the rich stay rich, like that hasn't changed. But what has changed is you can quick fix. So like USC was garbage and has been since Pete Carroll left. They are immediate. They went and got Lincoln Riley. They got Caleb Williams, the #1 quarterback from last year, who was at Oklahoma. Now he's there. They get this receiver. They were able to flip on the fly.
Yeah.
So they will be good next year. USC will be good next year. which normally that takes us several recruiting classes. Now you can go right away.
Because you can just poach everybody in college basketball. It's happening. Everybody who's
Yeah.
good. It feels like everybody who's really, really good at a mid-major or a small school is going right to the big schools.
That's exactly
So
right.
even if they got the recruiting wrong, now you have an opportunity to rectify that in real time in college.
Right now, nobody knows. This is the one thing that's interesting, though, is if you are Big State U and you're used to a donor giving you money for facilities and so forth, and in exchange for that, that big donor then has his name on a scoreboard, on a court, on a building. Well, now, does it make more sense for that donor to give his money to a collective to procure talent? But there is not the certainty of my name's on a building.
Sure. But
It's
you could be
something
like,
where you're
that's my
banking-
guy.
That's my guy.
I brought him here.
I brought him here. But what if he leaves in a year? Because you can't contractually tie them to anything.
Yeah.
These kids can all leave if at any point. They're not obligated by anything. So it's truly the Wild West. This is what's going on at Penn State and South Carolina. I think this is interesting. Athletes are working for the collectives. So let's say Spencer Rattler, the quarterback at South Carolina who transferred to Oklahoma, was the #1 dual threat kid a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He is working for the collective, and he's doing advertisements saying, hey, Nathan Zegura, why don't you donate $100 a month to this collective? And then that collective is paying him. That's what's happening.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good business
Yeah.
model.
Yeah. There was an episode of It's
Why are
Always
they called
Sunny in
collectives,
Philadelphia.
by the way?
I have no idea. There's an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they did that with Patty Bucks. Like, remember that, Kimmy?
I do.
I can't remember.
God,
if
I
it was
love
Max,
that show.
Max's idea, somebody's idea, where we'll just come up with our own currency and we'll give it to them and they'll pay us and it'll come back to us. That's all it
Dave and
is.
Buster's.
Is that what it was?
That's well done, Paulus.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. There you go.
Fantastic.
God, that
Yeah.
show.
So that's what's happening. That's college sports right now. There's going to come a point where you're going to be able to make more money playing college football than you would be able to as a third-round pick in the NFL or second-round
Yeah.
pick in the NFL.
No, I believe it's
That's happening.
here.
Yeah. Yep. That's what's happening.
Perry and Winfrey, by the way,
Yep.
our good friend, tweets out, I had no clue Browns fans were this crazy.
Welcome, brother.
Welcome. Welcome.
More to come.
I mean, this guy is already – he is by far – okay, and I don't know if this is true for you as well or you, Gibbe. When somebody asked me about the Browns since that Saturday,
Yeah.
the first person they asked me about is Perry and Winfrey.
If
Period.
they're active in social media, for sure.
That is the first person. They're like, is that guy? Is he the real deal? Is that guy?
Mhm.
What was? Yeah. Not hey, what's Watson look like now that we got to get on the grass yesterday and nothing.
Nope.
Perry on Winfrey.
Sounds about right.
Well, he made an incredible. Listen, you never get us. I like to say this. I've been saying this for a long time. And you feel free to use this.
This is original property of you, intellectual
Yes,
property
IP.
of you. Yep.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Wow. Write
Deep
that down.
thoughts.
Yeah, write that down.
That's a
a
deep
good
thought.
one. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. It's not up there with the Hoff's deep thoughts about how your day starts.
Never get a second chance to make
A first impression.
a first impression.
I'm thinking about letting, maybe
I like that.
some dandruff shampoo companies use something like that.
Perhaps.
I feel like because you never want to.
You never do. It's true.
You never want to have dandruff.
You get one chance.
It's called a first impression.
That's why it's there.
But thank you for writing that down.
I wrote it down.
I mean,
Share that with the kids.
I'm going to.
Did I tell you what I learned about dog water? Have I said this on the air? Or did I just say this to my
No,
kids at
tell
home?
me. Because it's being used a lot again. Where the ground.
So you had asked me what was dog water, and
Uh-huh.
I was relying on my son
Yep.
to tell me what he believed dog water to be, which was that it was the water after a dog had drank some water.
Literal dog water.
Yes. No. Mm-mm. Way better, actually, in terms of what now the reveal. It is in reference to old school when you'd go get from a hot dog stand and the hot dogs were sitting in
The
that
hot
water.
dog water?
Yes. It is in reference to hot dog water, which is just got to be absolutely disgusting.
I'd rather drink it than dog water, though, wouldn't
yeah.
you?
Like
Dogs
the
are
dog
also
water
very
is
clean.
No, the dog water
I
is
don't
like
think
a,
so. I don't think you have that right.
I-
I don't think you have that right.
Dog water is it's like a backwash.
I mean, a little bit, but they also are very
little
efficient with their tongues at scooping and getting water. This hot dog water, if it's sitting there and then it's getting cool and full of fat,
Well, I think we need to come back to
nitrates?
this.
Here,
This is
we got
today's
a real
underwear
treat. We have a
conversation.
true luminary walking in, the great John Johnson III, walking
right.
in studio. He will be with us live on the other side of this quick timeout. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. A lot of bad advice out there about gambling, from secret methods to picking lottery numbers to betting big when you're on a roll. The myths can lose you money and get you in a lot of trouble, so before you wager, find out what's real and what isn't at keepitfunohio.com. A true luminary in the building with us right now, the great John Johnson III, joining us here in studio. Hey, before we get into all the football fun, we were having a conversation before you hopped on with us. The kids are into the Fortnite, our children are, and they're using this derogatory phrase called "your dog water." They're saying
That's what they say when they text
say,
me,
"Oh yeah,
like,
your dog water. You stink.
Yeah.
Your dog water."
Yeah.
So
Big
we were
insult.
under the impression that it was like the bowl that the dog, slobbers out of and misses his mouth and yet drinks out of.
I feel like that was a little leading. But go ahead.
Or no, just let me finish. I'm going to do it an equal service. Or the disgusting water left over from cooking hot dogs like in a stand. So that water that those dogs sit in and boil and keep warm in, of those two waters, both of which we can acknowledge are bad.
Disgusting.
Which one is worse to you?
When you said the first option, I was thinking, we're the dogs. We drink top of the line water.
That's right. There we
So
go.
even the residue or the leftover water is still somewhat good. But hot dog, I wasn't thinking hot dog water. So I think I'd much rather be the first option.
You're going with the dog
the
water?
first dog water.
Yeah, so if I'm playing Fortnite and I'm winning, the other people are hot dog water for sure.
Yeah, they're dog water. That's right.
I was
There
not
it is.
thinking that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Gross.
It's all gross.
Agreed. It's all
So
gross.
is. Nothing gross about you guys getting all back together. What's it like seeing everybody back around? I know you've been here a lot, but some others coming to join you now and seeing everybody back around the building.
I think that's the best part of it. Like, not even just football. I think just being around the guys. Haven't seen these guys in a while. Everyone, goes on their own vacations, stuff like that, and just starting from scratch. Install number one, basic cover 3 stuff. It's not really about football so much. It's just reviewing. But I think, like I said, being in the locker room now. COVID's over. Everyone is in the locker room now. So just being around the guys in the field house playing basketball, just being around each other is great.
And there are a lot of guys back on the back end of this defense. Now, Troy was just traded the other day, so that takes one off. But for the most part, 4 of the top 5 corners from a year ago in terms of snaps played, the top 3 safeties from a year ago in terms of snap played, all back. And you guys really, it seemed like, started to click in the second half of that season. So how nice is it to get to, in large part, not completely, but in large part, run it back with the same guys?
Yep, it's a beautiful thing. In this league, it's so many moving pieces. A guy can be here for a couple weeks, then gone, be here for a training camp, ends up, getting a better chance at playing somewhere else. So just having those core group of guys all coming back. We all wanted Denzel to get his payday. He got that. So it's kind of like we're checking off the boxes heading into the season. And, our core group of defensive backs and back 7, as a whole,
Yeah,
we
sure.
got a lot of guys coming back. And I think, that continuity, that chemistry, it'll pay off on the field this year.
When did it click? Was there a game? Because certainly the second half of the season, you guys really came on. Was there a game, John, where you look back and go, okay, now we got it sorted out? Because you guys were all learning a new system, a lot of new faces, everybody kind of finding their way. But there was a moment it clicked. Do you remember when that was? Or was there a time for you?
I can remember that Chicago game. It was early on in the year. That's when we had a bunch of flashes of dominance and greatness. But I would say, just listening to you talk, that Ravens game kind of jumped out to me. Was it Monday night?
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
yeah.
At their place.
4 picks.
We had 4 picks, and guys were just doing their job, flying around, making plays on the biggest stage. And that was a little later in the season, but just that point in time, we were like, okay, we're a good secondary at least. When that ball's in the air against a good opponent. Lamar Jackson is a great division rival, and we definitely went out there and pitched a great game. Didn't win, but just on defense, it was like, whoa, we can really play. So I think that was a big moment for us.
Yeah, I'd say that one, and also Cincinnati as well. And one of the things that I noticed, and as the season progressed, you did a lot more of what you did in L.A., and they started to move you down closer and play some of that dime spot, get you closer to the line of scrimmage, closer to the ball as they became comfortable with Grant getting on the back end. How much did you like that? Because it felt to me like that was a big part, honestly, of this defense taking a jump. And I remember Cincinnati was the first game where I think you played 20 snaps closer, and you had an interception, you had fumble recovery, you got another tip that led to an interception. What was that kind of something that you wanted to do, and how did that come together, and do you think that did have a big impact?
I think so. I think just presenting, offenses with different pictures, different guys moving around. You don't want to just give them the same, okay, Ronnie's down, so they must be running this. Just anytime guys are moving around, playing different spots, it creates a challenge for the offense. And, just for me personally, just like you said, playing in LA, I moved around a lot, whether it was different positions or just lining up in different places. And I think that's where I get if I just sit back in the post, I feel like it get a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just redundant or monotonous. It's
Stale.
just doing the same thing over and over. So just moving around, having different, responsibilities, different pictures to see helps me out, just to stay in tune with the game. So I think it did help a little bit, but moving forward, we'll see. We got a lot of guys coming back. We lost a guy, so hey, I might be playing a little nickel this year. Who knows?
Okay, all right. We saw that in LA too. You're quite good at it.
Mm-hmm.
The one weapon you guys have as a defense now, because so much of the game is legislated to promote offensive football, is the weapon of confusion. And one thing, and I think we talked about this a lot last year, I think even the number change, allowing linebackers to wear 26 or 28, that adds to it. You guys have a lot of guys who are the same body type. You have a lot of guys who can run and fly. That confusion, I would think, would play big into your guys' hands, and I'm assuming it's something that you'll play into even more now that we have more continuity in the system.
Right. Like you said, I think we had a good amount of 6 DBs on the field last year, so that's always good. Like you said, similar body types, different numbers, just different guys lining up. Like I said earlier, you don't want to say, oh, 43's here, they're running this. They watch film too. So it's just like you said, that confusion, and that's really what we have. We have to be reactive. We can't, set the tone. We had to act accordingly of what the offense gives us. So definitely adding that little element of when the ball snapped, they get a different picture every time. Definitely helps out.
How much more just comfortable do you feel like sitting here today than you did a year ago at this time when you were going someplace incredibly successful, great defense? You guys ended up having a great defense here, but for you, as a new system and new responsibilities, as you mentioned, you weren't moving around as much earlier. You know, how much more comfortable do you feel in this defense now today?
Oh, it's like night and day. I mean, just going out there on the field for like phase 2 activities, you know, everyone just it's like riding a bike. It's just so simple, so easy now. And like I said, it's night and day. I got a house out here now, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like this is home. You know, I'm gonna try to make it home for a long time, hopefully.
Yes.
But it's way different. I didn't know how hard it was going to be to make that transition until I actually did it. You know, even just the building, different colors, you know, different faces.
No orange rooms down there in LA.
Exactly. So I mean, I didn't know how difficult it was going to be, but from week 1 last year to now, it's night and day, and I want to just keep building on it and keep getting better at it.
And another guy that's probably feels like it's night and day is your running buddy back there, Grant Delpit. I mean, last year was in essence his rookie season. He didn't get to play the first year, missed the whole year. How's it being back with him and kind of your guys' chemistry? And are you seeing that he's, you know, ready to take a big leap now? He's got a year under his belt.
Oh, absolutely. And I like to add on to that. You know, we hung out last year, but it wasn't like how it is now. Like, it's kind of like it's natural. Like, we're supposed to be hanging out, not like we're teammates and we have to hang out. It's not really like that. It's kind of like we're similar. We know each other now. Ronnie as well, Richard, everybody. It's like it's so natural now, just understanding each other and how we play and stuff like that. But, yeah, I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. Like you said, last year's his rookie year, it was a pretty good rookie year.
Yeah.
It was pretty good
Yeah.
first year in the league. And in limited time, you know, when he was called on to step up, you know, he stepped in and nothing changed. You know, the defense didn't have to change for him. And, like, we got 3 safeties out there, you know, put Ronnie at, like, that nickel spot. So it was awesome having him out there. But I think he's going to take off.
You know, as you're saying that about, you know, with Delpit, I'm thinking, you know, you think about how hard that must have been. You not only you come into a new city, new faces, new all of that, but you're in a COVID restriction.
Can't hang out.
You can't hang out. You can't be. I mean, just even coming up here, you couldn't do. For those listening or watching on the stream, like there used to be a wall there.
This
There's
is
a
probably your
temporary
first
wall
time
there.
in here, right?
I don't come upstairs often.
Right.
I don't think I've been on this side of the building upstairs. So, yeah, I think this is my first time. It's crazy.
So you guys used to all the time. Like
Yeah.
we would see players walk by all the time. Like pre-COVID, like this was kind of the epicenter. Guys would come through here, he'd go back and meet, so forth.
Right.
So now to be able to have a free building, to be able to get, I mean, it's got to be an incredible difference.
It is. And like I said, like just having, you know, everybody in that locker room was the biggest thing. I came back because last year it was like I had 3-4 lockers just so we could be spaced out. Now I have, you know, my single locker and there's a guy literally right next to me, like not even a foot
Like, watch
away.
it.
Yeah, so it's a lot different. But I think it's better like this. This is football. This is a team sport, you know, the greatest team sport there is. And this is what you need to do, like, in the building. The guys that you're here with, 6 days out of the week, it's good for bonding and chemistry. So I think it's going to be great for us.
You probably even get to spend more time with, like, the coaches and just everybody getting to know each other. And your coaches are 2 of our favorites in Mr. Jeff Howard and Brandon Lynch, 2 of them, I think, best guys in the building. So is that kind of that from that camaraderie, that chemistry standpoint? It's going to be more fun this year, right?
Absolutely. Another thing, no mask. You know, you can see
Yeah.
guys' faces.
Yeah.
You can hear them talking. You can see expressions, stuff like that. I mean, I know, you know, the vaccination stuff, we kind of dropped the mask a little bit, but just being free, not having to worry about that stuff is awesome. And like you said, Coach Howard and Coach Lynch, you know, they got kids, they got families and stuff. And, you know, with everything dying down, maybe we could do a little bit off the field, you know, get together and stuff like that. So it'll be great. And it's back to football. It feels like real now.
What is it been like to, you know, as you see the offseason moves, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, seeing them around the building? We've had Amari in here, and Deshaun, we see him around the building. Just seeing what has happened to transform this offense heading into next year.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, anytime you get like guys that have had success in this league, like big success, you know, big payday guys, like guys that earned it, like guys that put the work in, played on good teams, good offenses. I've played against, you know, Amari a few times, so I know what he can do. But it's anytime you're making moves to become better, you know, that's the goal. Like, you want to be 1% better every day, and we definitely got better with our new additions.
When you have a change in the quarterback room, that changes really the whole organization, right? Because that person, because of just the nature of the position they play, becomes very much the leader. What's kind of your impressions of Deshaun in that capacity with our regard to even what he can do on the field?
Oh yeah, he comes off as like a good leader. I wouldn't say he's quiet, but I would say like when he speaks, like people listen. And he just comes off. Obviously, his like his resume on the field, he's done the work. He's put up the numbers, been that guy. But I think just us embracing him, being the people around him to make his job easier. We talked about coming into a new system, coming into an organization. And, as a quarterback, like you said, you're kind of the face of the organization. So I think it's our responsibility, even on defense, to make his job easier and go out there and compete every week. But I think the sky's the limit with him.
Nathan and I are always interested. I'll get you out of here on this one. You mentioned play basketball. Who's got game?
We have to see. We just been shooting, on the court in the field house.
And it's not level. You're a little higher on the left than the right.
Can't really You can't really bounce the ball. So, like, 5-on-5, full court, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
who's got a little stroke?
Surprisingly, I just found out today, Willie Harvey. Shooting from distance.
Like Steph Curry?
Like Steph Curry, not missing.
Willie
not
Harvey.
missing.
I would not have heard that on the list.
What? I'm telling you, we're in the field house today. He's not missing. It's on camera. I'm sure the footage will leak sometime.
It'll get out there? Okay.
It's on camera.
All right.
So be on the lookout for it. Richard LeCount, he can shoot a little bit. You can pull up his high school highlight tape. He was pretty good. But,
I bet he's the best talker on the basketball.
Oh yeah,
court.
He got so many little sayings. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Look, you got to what I'm saying. You got to listen to him.
Hold on.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I like that.
I'm writing that down. That's true.
You're gonna throw that at Bootsy. He's
I'm
gonna be
throwing
like,
it right at my 6-year-old. He's getting that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good talking to you, buddy.
Great
Absolutely.
seeing you.
Great to see you.
Welcome, man. We'll have you all the time.
Yeah, you got to have me in here more, man. It's cool.
Hey, the invitation's always open.
Tell the people.
Yeah.
We used to have, there were times when
we used to have regulars. We have regulars.
Weekly.
Yeah.
We have
the Friday regular spot.
Let's do it.
It's available.
Good seeing you, buddy. As
Take
always.
care.
All right, the great John Johnson III in studio with us. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You're up.
Beau here for Char Whiskey Bar and Grill in Rocky River. Sip on your choice of over 300 premium whiskeys, craft cocktails while catching a game, or perhaps a nice night out on the outdoor patio. Char's new menu is out. New menu items on both the main and brunch menus. Oyster shrimp cocktail. More of that as they continue to introduce those raw bar specials. And you can make Mother's Day reservations right now for the weekend by calling in or booking online. And don't forget about Gabe's other restaurants, Indy East 4th. That's a huge winner. You can book reservations there as well. Enjoy your meal or drink on the patio as the weather starts to get warmer, God willing, next week. Support local. Visit Char Whiskey Bar and Grill in Rocky River or charrockyriver.com for more. We have some dog water. People weighing in on the dog water.
I just got just a fun, you love it when people give a nice participation. Jess Harris says, I have 2 German Shepherds who share a bowl of water. I assure you this water is not clean. In fact, there are multiple variations of sediment in said bowl. Sediment in dog bowls may or may not be organic in nature. Yeah, I'm thinking,
Here's
my
the
dog's
deal.
a 10-pound dog. She's very cute. Her
If
water's
you
wonderful.
view dog water through the prism of Asa versus the
It's basically
prism
like
of a Mastiff.
this water without a filter.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
very different.
agreed.
Yeah.
Like
And
your
even
dogs,
Asa
Gibbe,
water. I mean, come on.
But I'm talking about, too, though, that like hot dog water, because when I was in high school,
the amount of sodium that would be in the hot dog water would
and
be
the fat and
Yeah.
just the
Just the stuff oozing out of
Oozing.
whatever hot dogs.
that have been sitting there for hours and hours.
So you wonder, like, are those hot dogs cooked previously, or are they cooking in that? Are they boiling
Boiling.
them constantly?
Well,
Or
I
are
think
they
they're
just
boiling
keeping
and
them
they
warm?
just sit and keep them warm. I think it's a keep them warm.
So they boil them
situation.
and then they keep them warm in that water.
So there was a place right across from my high school and I was never a huge hot dog guy. Like I enjoy a hot dog at the ballpark.
Sure.
I'll have a hot
Yeah.
dog. But there was like one of those places, and this was, you notice these places are not around as much as they used to be, but that are literally there to serve nothing but hot dogs.
Yes.
And there was one of those across from my high school.
little street meat.
And
That's
they
right.
would have, and it was in this giant vat. It was so disgusting. But then they would have, right next to it would be the steamer, and the bun would come out like steam, and the buns were like the best.
Sure.
The best. But, I mean, that dog water. No part of it.
No part of it. Yeah.
No
the
part
most
of it.
probably the most tempting. It's so funny as you were talking about that. I was instantly transported back to Mazatlan, Mexico, and spring break. And as you would come out of the Have a Good Time places, you would come out and they would have the hot dog vendors there, and it smelled so good.
I bet.
But boy, you had to say no. And
Yeah,
it was
you
as
did.
big of a temptation as you could have, because you would walk out, it would just be sitting there. It was, it's been a night.
I thought you were going to say there was going to be like street taco vendors.
Or a
in
gyro
Mazatlan.
stand.
No,
a
no,
good
no.
gyro stand that used to be on West 6th. That'd come out. Oh, my
Well,
God.
yeah, I mean that's a little.
You
No, but
wait
this
there
was
for
That's
a
meat
half
on a
hour.
spit. At
yeah,
least.
no. This was they. I just remember vividly the hot
Hot
dog
dog
vendors
guys, the hot dog
in
men of
Mazatlan.
Mazatlan.
Hot dog men
I'm
in
in.
Mazatlan.
I'm waiting in line.
That
I'm
should be a
having
movie.
one.
That should be
Whatever.
a movie. The hot dog
I
men
feel
of
like they were
Mazatlan.
having their best
I mean, if
lives.
it,
like a 30
if it
for
goes
30
bad,
on
I
this.
lose a few pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but
well, that
If
was
it
kind
goes
of the
bad. I lose.
that was the caution, was that seemed inevitable, that if you were going to go down that road, that's how it would end up. And you may be going down that road anyway by that time of night.
yes,
Might
you're
have
already
been
We also
committed.
deal with
I
the
feel
fact,
like.
though, that hot dog water is factoring in like the potential for Montezuma's revenge. Like that's a next level.
Yeah,
That's next level dog water.
I get it. Ridiculous story off air about that trip as well.
Oh boy,
Stunning.
Can't wait.
Stunning. All right, lots of bad advice out there about gambling, from secret methods to picking lottery numbers to betting big when you're on a roll. The miss can lose you money, getting you in a lot of trouble. So before you wager, find out what's real and what isn't at keepitfunohio.com. As we go around the league, DeAndre Hopkins suspended for the first 6 games of 2022. His camp denies any wrongdoing, but I thought that they bailed on their appeal.
He put out a statement yesterday saying that he is meticulous about what goes into his body, but obviously not meticulous enough. He has no idea how this happened, and that he's launching his own independent investigation into this, and he will be back to update us with facts when he finds them. So he is adamant in his that
For
if it
some
happened,
reason,
it got
maybe I
into
misread.
a
I
supplement
thought I-
that he didn't know about or whatnot.
I don't know. It's interesting because he tweeted out something that said, "I'll see you in week 7," but
Yes.
his agent or his agency that represent him is vehemently denying, saying he had a negative test in October, he had a negative test in December. Where did the positive come from?
I had thought that I had read this morning that he had dropped his
Here's his
appeal,
statement.
but that now I'm seeing I was confused and shocked. I'm very mindful of what I put in my body and
Yep.
always take a holistic approach, so I'm working with my team to investigate how this could have happened. But even as careful as I have been, clearly I wasn't careful enough. For that, I apologize to Cardinal fans, my teammates, the entire Cardinals organization. I never want to let the team down. I fully intend to get to the bottom of this. As soon as I have more information, I will share it.
Yep.
But I think that holds true with what I was saying too. That there is no appeal of this. That he's not going to appeal it. So it feels like he is acknowledging he doesn't know how it happened.
Correct.
But also,
if you don't know how it happened, why not fight it then?
Unless there's just good. Well, that was kind of my point. Was
Yeah.
if you're just willingly going to take the 6 games, they're totally different with him and without him.
Dan Orlovsky broke that down yesterday.
Yeah, Kyler was like 6-2 with him, 1-4 or something without him. The QBR was a difference of 25 points.
Yeah.
With him and without
Completion
him.
percentage was down like 12%.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he's
as
good.
it would be. He's really, really good.
I think that also shows a little bit more, gives a little more insight into the sense of urgency to get Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
When they did, and the price that they were willing to pay to get Hollywood Brown, because they knew when stuff like this happens, they knew
heads
this
up.
well before this became public. So they knew this before the draft.
That is a very interesting situation in Arizona, isn't it? Because it feels like that the coach is married to the quarterback, absolutely. The question is how married is the quarterback to the coach, and then by in turn, how much is he married to organization? It's been an odd offseason for that whole operation.
No, sure. No doubt. Going out and getting one of his quote-unquote 4 best friends
Helps.
probably feels helpful.
Yeah, it feels like that helps. But that's an interesting situation out there, to say the least, and more interesting now with Hopkins being done for 6 games. The Eagles continuing to shop wide receiver Jalen Reagor per rap sheet. Gibby wants to know if we should be interested.
Listen, whenever you got a guy who's a former first-round talent, I think you should be interested in seeing if you think he can come in and fit in your system. He's got speed. He's got decent size. You kick the tires. He has not been productive in Philadelphia. He's had some big drops. Maybe a change of scenery is what could be helpful to him. But at this point, you also have to evaluate him on, number one, what did you think about him at the time coming out? And my guess is that would have been – he's been in the league for a couple of years now, right? This is going into his 3rd season. So AB was not there in Philly when that went down. But he probably, prior to that, would have been involved in some work there and been involved in that process. So you look at what you thought of them as a draft player, and then you rely on your very talented pro personnel department here, guys like Dan Sagany, to evaluate what they have been in the league. Do you kick the tires on it? Sure. Is he the answer? Is he going to be the guy that changes everything? That I don't know. But I do think that you have, you should be investigating. I think there is room to bring somebody else in here into that wide receiver room. But the question is, do you feel like he's a field stretcher? That's not necessarily what he was in his 2 years in Phillies. You look at his numbers.
Even his combine, he's a 4.47 guy.
Which is fast.
Yeah, but he's
not huge. He's only 5'11", 197. He averaged 12.8 yards a catch his first year, had 31 catches for 396 yards. Last year, 33 catches, 299 yards, and averaged 9.1 per reception. He's caught under 60% of his targets for his career, and he's at 6.3 yards per target. So he has not been great, obviously, right? Obviously. But do you think that you could find something there? Is there the clay that you get – People tend to become very good with Chad O'Shea, watching over them. We've seen the development in our guys. You go back to Devontae Parker. Now, Devontae Parker's a different guy altogether in terms of his size, but his career prior to Chad O'Shea, his career with Chad O'Shea, and his career post-Chad O'Shea are very different. See if you can spot the anomaly. 494-3, 744-4, 670-1, 309-1. 1,202-9, 793-4, 515-2. There's 1 year there that Chad O'Shea was there.
You tell me which one, right?
That's right.
And well, also, who was throwing in the football?
In 2019? It's a good question.
Yeah.
Not anybody of great note.
Yeah, no one.
Yeah, but even from a Philly standpoint, I'm saying.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
Hurts. Yeah, limited. Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
by the way,
Wentz into Hurts. Yeah,
throwing
not great.
he had 1,202 yards and 9 touchdowns in a season where they had 4,000 yards and 22 touchdowns, and the quarterback throwing him the ball that year was a combination of Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen.
There you go.
Josh Rosen, who went 0-3, completing 50% of his passes for 500 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions.
Is that just is he like the greatest example of just a complete misevaluation, or is his circumstance so bad that who knows? But like he did not last. I mean, it's a little bit of the was it Paxton Lynch, the guy with the Broncos?
Yes.
Like he was like gone in a year and a half, evaporated, and that's kind of like Rosen. Like it's like 2 years and out.
Yeah,
He was on, last I heard, he was on the practice squad in Tampa, but I don't. And then it was it done.
I mean, USC's play-by-play guy would have taken him first
Over
overall.
Sam.
No doubt.
That's right.
That's
amazing.
a moment.
One of the
Before
more
my time, but that's
stupefying
unbelievable.
interviews
I remember when you guys
ever.
first told me that. I could not believe that somebody would do such a thing. I can't imagine when you guys were on air and he is supposed to be talking about Darnold glowingly, and instead
It's like, actually, I'd take
heel
Josh
turns.
Rosen. Yeah, that's what he basically said. He's like, yeah, actually, I'd take Josh Rosen. I think he's better.
that's a man. Does that man still have that job?
I believe so.
I
you-
think he is still the play-by-play voice.
At that point, it's a Marty Brenneman effect where it's too big to fail. Not Tom, Marty.
No. Swing and a deep drive.
Marty.
By the way, James Palmer from NFL Network reporting Ryan Tannehill said he was not informed ahead of time that the Titans were drafting Malik Willis. I would say it's not a big deal, but in this day and age of quarterbacks getting upset at little things,
Yeah.
does that fester?
This
and
is
become
coming off of
something
this
else?
morning, Matt Ryan saying that if they wouldn't have pursued Deshaun Watson, he'd still be a Falcon.
Yeah. Well, duh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Tannehill also said it's not his job to mentor Malik Willis. That if he happens to learn from me along the way, that's fine. And I think, the follow-up to that is my job is to help us win games. And so my preparations are all going to be about that. Now, obviously, he's going to learn from watching me prepare and the things that I go through. But those are tough situations. And we've been around a lot of veterans with, it takes a special veteran to really want to embrace that mentorship role. And it also takes a guy that is well aware that that is a big part of his role. And I think you can get into trouble in 2 situations. One where the person who's the starter just led you to being the number 1 seed in the AFC and has no interest in his replacement or how they do,
Yeah.
or Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Like, it's not a surprise that those things go the way they do. You need a guy like Josh McCown who's well aware of his limitations, well aware of what his role is in the league, and he can mentor.
So I view the Tennessee situation very different than Green Bay. You use a first-round pick.
For sure. Very insulting.
Then that means this guy is going to be our quarterback of the future sooner rather than later. Malik Willis could have just been a value pick for Tennessee.
Totally.
Like,
Yes.
hey, if this works, great. If not, and Ryan continues to play great, we can trade this guy down the road and get something back. We'll develop him and trade him, and that'll be fine. I don't view those things as similar, in that sense. This yesterday, the Browns were cleared of any wrongdoing from the NFL in terms of the allegations by former head coach Hugh Jackson. The allegations could not be substantiated from the NFL and from a team spokesman here with the Browns. Quote, "We appreciate the independent investigation led by Mary Jo White and the Debevoise team, which brings closure to these allegations that Hugh Jackson publicly recanted shortly after they were made, and we've all known all along are categorically false. As we previously stated, we welcome this investigation because the integrity of our game is something that should not be taken lightly, and an independent review was crucial in bringing conclusion to this matter." He did not speak to the investigators.
No.
No.
Moving on.
Moving
Browns fans, Sugardale sponsoring grand opening events at 2 new Meijer stores. Visit the Canton store on Friday, May 6th, the Brunswick store on Friday, May 13th for samples and giveaways, special appearances by Browns alumni and shops. For store locations and more details, visit sugardale.com/events, and you will find those things there. Coming up next, Coach Stefanski on RBS this morning. We'll play some of the highlights for you. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. My good friends, the Bath Authority can give you the bathroom of your dreams in about a day. They can do so at an incredibly reasonable rate and at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. You then can transform your current bathroom into a custom bath situation, make it feel like a spa. They are Cleveland's only premier bath and shower remodeler with expert factory-trained installers. If you give them a call right now at $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel, that number is 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com. They have the largest selection of bath projects. They're all made in the United States. You can change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding with one simple phone call at 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com for $500 off your next custom bath project. It's where affordability meets quality, superior products with expert installers. Thebathauthority.com. Kevin Stefanski was on RBS this morning, and the fellas asked him what he learned about Deshaun Watson so far. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, I think it's like anything when you get a new player. You have a lot of conversations about football, and you talk to some of his former coaches, and we start to set down a path where we want to make sure we're getting the best out of him. But until you're in those meeting rooms with Deshaun and the other quarterbacks, until you're on the field with Deshaun and those guys, then you're starting to see and listen to him about what he's comfortable with and ways he's done things in the past. So I think it's just what I'm learning with any new player is it's just a constant dialogue of tweaking things, making sure he's comfortable, he's trying new things. And that's really where we are here on, May 3rd. I think we have a lot of work to do, quite honestly, across the board.
Yeah, certainly. And one of the things that I think you will see, and quite simply, is a different look for this offense and making it be an offense that fits Deshaun Watson's eye and talent. Here's Coach Stefanski on RBS about exactly that.
Definitely need to find it out. I mean, we have a vision for how we want to play, and you try to couple what we've done well in the last couple of years with what Deshaun does well. And a lot of times those meet right in the middle. And other times we have to adjust a few things to make sure we're doing what he does best. So what that ultimately looks like on week one, I have a general idea, but I think it's something that we need to work through these OTAs. We got to put him in some concepts, put him in some schemes, and see what he's comfortable with. And it works both ways.
Well, he can do anything. That's the thing with Deshaun Watson in terms of what he does best. This is a guy who does a lot.
The list is long.
It's a long list. But in terms of the way that Kevin Stefanski's offense was when he came in here versus what it's going to be under Watson, just in terms of personnel schematically, it's going to be a lot different because of the skill set that Deshaun Watson possesses.
Yeah, we're a team now that is going to be very comfortable throwing in obvious throwing situations. I think we're going to be a team that our run-pass balance will skew more to the pass than it has in the past. I think we will play a significantly higher percentage of 11 personnel, which is 3 receivers and 1 tight end. I think we'll significantly decrease the amount of time we spent in 13 personnel, which is 1 wide receiver and 3 tight ends. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to be a big part of what we do going forward. And I think, one of the biggest tips of that would be that the Browns, now I know we signed a tight end here who's certainly a project.
Yes.
Guy has not played football ever. He's been a basketball player. The fact that we didn't draft a tight end, the fact that we did not sign a veteran tells you that we're going to be much more of a 1 tight end or 2 tight end team, and that, your top 2 of the Chief, David Njoku and Harrison Bryant, is good. That's not to say that we won't bring in another veteran. I think Miller Forrestall is a guy that they like and think can develop into that, 3rd tight end for the Browns. And if that's the case, you're pretty well set as our linebacker coach, Jason Tarver, walks by his room very steady from year to year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that tells you a lot about where we're going offensively. Now, you still have Nick Chubb, you still have Kareem Hunt, you still have Dearness Johnson. You are going to be a football team that runs the ball, no doubt, and we're going to be able to impose our will. And gone are the days of facing 8- and 9-man boxes all the time on first down. You're going to be facing a lot of light boxes because teams are going to be much more afraid of our ability to throw the football and make them pay with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Just bottom line.
We saw a steady diet of 8- 9-man box. I remember Arizona.
Oh God,
my God, it was just all game. It was all up in there, and now that can't be the case because you'll pay in a very, very big way with Deshaun Watson. I look forward to seeing what this can be, and I think you guys are going to love this too. This is going to be a wide – you think about how much fun it is to watch Kansas City play, to watch the Chargers play, to watch Burrow with the Bengals play, when it feels like at any moment you can score from any place on the field.
Yes.
That's what you've signed up for with Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
You've signed up for that. And so that's what the future will look like in terms of offensive football. You will be an explosive, aggressively offensive offense. And that is something that we weren't able to do the last couple of years at the level we're going to be able to do it this year. Just weren't.
That's great.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. Here is Coach on RBS this morning talking about your boy, Perrion Winfrey.
Of course.
Everybody wants to talk about him.
Yeah, that was pretty unique, wasn't it? And I saw that from him at my interview with him at the Combine, so I knew what he's capable of. You love a guy that brings passion to the game, that brings energy to the game. To play defensive line, you have to bring it. It's the nature of that position. So I think that the guys will embrace him, but I am looking forward to seeing him and hearing him rookie minicamp.
That's going to be fun. You wonder, is he always on?
Well, with the interview that we played yesterday, Gerard asked him the question about what he learned at the Senior Bowl, and he said at Senior Bowl I learned that I can't ever take it off. I got to step on all their necks all the time. And so maybe from I don't think he's always on just in life. I don't think anybody could run that hot consistently. Mm-hmm. But I think from a football standpoint, I think he is going to be that fired up, and he's going to be very excited. Now, there's a lot of talk and a lot of things that I've read now that he played 236 snaps as a true nose tackle for Oklahoma, which is not what he will be asked to do here. He'll be a 3 technique here, which means he will be on the guard's shoulder, and that will allow him to be much more of a penetrator. And that's what they love about him, his ability to get off at the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped and to be able to penetrate, make disruptive plays in the backfield. And he's got a nice pass rush arsenal as well. So he's going to be freed up to do a lot of the things that they believe are his strengths in our scheme. And I think it's an exciting thing. I think that room is wide open. Like if you said to me, Perrion Winfrey starting day one, wouldn't shock me in the least.
Sure.
Because I don't think there is nobody here that has right to take out a pen and pen their name into the starting lineup for the Cleveland Browns at defensive tackle. It is all pencil. It is wide open because you've got Taven Bryant making his Browns debut, one of the first guys we signed this offseason, former first-round pick out of Florida, but it never materialized in Jacksonville. Jordan Elliott, career highs across the board last year, but is he ready to be the guy? Former third-round pick out of Missouri, the Browns 2 drafts ago. Togi I didn't really see action until week 10 at all last year. And so he's a 4th-round pick of a year ago. And then you've got Sheldon Day, who we love. We're big Sheldon Day guys. But Sheldon Day's a guy that it feels more like a rotational piece than the guy. And so if you're Perrion Winfrey, I think you have a tremendous opportunity. And Malik McDowell's still in the mix. This team is not ready to give up on Malik McDowell, and I certainly would love to see him back. You think about the impact he was able to have. It's a guy who hadn't played football in 4 years.
Yeah.
So this room is wide open. But, yeah, Perrion, Coach always says if you're juiceless, you're useless. Well, that guy will never
a problem.
Never be without juice.
Yesterday, while we were on the air, Cade York became the only kicker on this roster. The fellows on RBS this morning asked Coach about Cade York and the competition at the kicking position heading into the season.
He's a guy that we really identified early on in this process. So it just felt like it was the best thing for us and for him to get him free and clear, getting every rep in these practices, really honing in with him and making sure that he's getting all that he needs in terms of development, because I think the one thing I tell you about Cade and all of these rookies, they're not finished products, all of them, and they're going to go through some moments of growth, and a lot of that is going to occur in May, June, and into July, but just felt like that was the best decision for us.
So he will go into camp without competition?
Correct.
Yeah, he's the guy.
That's it. You draft a kicker in the 4th round, then that's it. That's the way that it goes. And by the way, I don't anticipate this happening with Cade, but if it all went to heck, you'd be in not a whole lot of different circumstances had you not drafted him. You know what I mean? You're going to be out looking for a kicker again. So, give him every opportunity to succeed, give him every snap, every rep, best chance to go. I get it. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that the belief is that, he is going to succeed, obviously. That's why the investment was made, and he's a guy that you are very excited about to see get in here and get all those reps. And I think I do think from a mental standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. Now, Gerard was telling us a story about when he was with the Patriots that one year they drafted a kicker to come in, and their thought was we're going to get rid of Adam Vinatieri, and we're going to bring in this drafted kicker, and he's going to replace him at a cheaper level. And he had to compete with Adam Vinatieri. So, of course, Adam Vinatieri kept the job. Adam Vinatieri's
Right.
the second best kicker ever.
It's a short list.
I mean,
he's
it's Tucker, Vinatieri.
one of the Andersons. I mean, those
I was going to say
Morton.
Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson, Gary Anderson. Morton was probably better
Morton
than
was
Gary.
better long term. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
he's a gold jacket, is he not, Morton?
I'm not sure if he is.
I believe so. Hold on.
Was Jan Stenerud? I know he's
That's
in the
old school. Yeah, Jan
Yeah.
Center of the Vikings.
Chiefs. And was he with the was he a punter or kicker though? I can't.
I know it's a great
Football
name.
Hall of
He's a
Fame
Montana State guy, I should know.
2017 for Morton Anderson.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
so
did
he's
good.
in.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so he's
Great
that's
short
Dane.
list either
But
way.
I'm saying, and like the point I was making with Gerard is that even if this guy's coming in and competing with Chase, like no disrespect to Chase, but he's not having to come in and unseat Adam Vinatieri
No.
at the peak of
Yeah.
his powers.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
Not.
it's Adam Vinatieri. So I'm not surprised that guy lost it. Came across something that I thought you guys both might find interesting, and it's a little bit of a setup because I believe later this week, Big P Gibbe has procured Matt Miller from ESPN. Right, Gibbe? Is that on Thursday?
Thursday.
Nice.
On Thursday.
Yes.
And we gotta bring in stars to make up for the loss of a star who shines so brightly. Jeez. So brightly.
Got to make sure you have a good pull that morning, Zegura.
I only have the only potential for me is
Still
good pulls
stunning.
in my underwear
By the
collection.
way-
And if they get anywhere approaching like it becomes anything less than an elite pool, they're gone.
That's
right
it.
into the
No
garbage.
tolerance.
Yeah, correct.
Garbage.
The moment there's any sign of wear and tear
I would
or
say
anything.
a fray. If I see a
Yeah.
fray, you're out.
If we're losing a shred of elasticity on the waistband, goodbye.
Eddie tweets at the show, although I'm not going for the internship. If I were, I'd start the interview with, let me ask you a question. How was your pull today?
Smart. It's a good
Be a
strategy.
smart job out of Eddie.
By the way,
If that were to work out. There's a lot of people now, I think, jockeying for the position now that we've made it known that it's available.
By the way, based on nothing but our interactions with him on Twitter, we know that Ned can't do it. So taking Ned out of the running, I mean, is there anybody that feels more destined for this job than Bobby Meckling?
No.
But I don't know what
Call
Bobby
me
does
Stevie.
for a living.
If anyone
Like,
gets the show, it's me. It's me. It's the BOBBY.
Look,
Oh boy, pure joy. Let's go.
There's no question. He's the guy.
I love Bobby. Bobby might carry a segment once a week for us.
Oh my
depending on the
God! You do
mailbag.
it. You don't ask mailbag. You just do a all Bobby ask
All
mailbag.
Bobby.
You can, yeah. Bobby wants to know. Bobby doesn't know.
Bobby's got it.
I like it.
But
it feels
I
to
don't
me-
know. Like you do have to have some kind of broadcast. You have to have a little background. You gotta know how to do certain things.
You
and
gotta
set
have
things up and run
desire.
things.
You got to have desire.
Okay, yes, but you have to have a little bit more than that.
All right. I'm going
We
to
have stricter protocols than at my previous place, where a certain person just wanted to be on TV and was persuasive enough to where she did.
and by the way, it's turned out to be
all
from a
worked
career
out
arc
just well.
standpoint pretty successful.
Hosted the U.S. Open.
That's right.
That happened.
That
Yeah.
did. Where's Meckling going to go?
We'll just
I
leave
don't
it at
know.
that.
Who could say?
Who could say?
Not me.
All in play. All in play.
So anyway, I don't know how we got here, but I was setting up the fact that Matt Miller was going to be on Thursday, and he and Jordan Reed
Okay.
at ESPN put together basically their favorite, least favorite, all these things, all these different slices of the draft.
Okay.
Who was the best value pick in round 7? Reed. Isaiah Thomas, the last pick from a group of Oklahoma defenders, could end up as one of the best of the group. Went to the Browns at number 223. 6'5", 266, a well-developed pass rusher who has a knack for generating pressure on quarterbacks. Inconsistent play throughout his career with the Sooners is one of the major reasons he lasted so long in the draft. Miller, you beat me to it, Jordan. Thomas was a legit steal. And Thomas is a guy, 8+ sacks each of the last 2 years at Oklahoma. He had 13 tackles for loss and 8.5 sacks in 2020. 11.5 tackles for loss, 8 sacks in 2021, including 3 forced fumbles and 4 pass defense. Said although he doesn't have the same athleticism or rush skills as his teammate, he led the Sooners in sacks each of the past 2 years. Stout edge setter, creates consistent movement at contact when he rushes with momentum, displaying inside-outside versatility. Overall, he doesn't have the greatest quickness, but he has the NFL size, length, and strength to be a rotational defensive end in a 4-3 base defense, kicking inside in sub packages. Sounds a lot like what we would like. And he's a guy that we got in the 7th. Dane Brugler had a 4th-round grade on Isaiah Thomas.
Mr. Brugler joins tomorrow.
Do you think Do you think Isaiah Thomas is named after Isaiah Thomas, the Pistons guard?
Hold, please. If it is, it better be in here, or this will be part number 2 of Dane Brugler slipping. Did not include that Alex Wright was the tallest person in all of Elba, Alabama, which I find to be a major oversight on his part.
Incredible.
He normally has everything in here. Isaiah Thomas, one of 4 children, grew up in Tulsa with his mother, fell in love with basketball at an early age, and he is, in fact, named after the NBA Hall of Famer.
Yes, Dane.
Second sentence. Boom. Of course. That's why not having Alex Wright as the tallest guy in Elba, Alabama feels like a miss for Dane.
Feels like a major miss.
It's almost like the NFL Network Day 3 stumped the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like finding the name.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Here you go.
Amazing.
Real quickly. He enrolled at Memorial High and earned immediate starting reps as defensive end as a freshman. As a senior, 71 tackles, 11 sacks, was a U.S. Army All-American. Also played all 4 years on offense, initially at tackle before moving to tight end as a senior when he caught 7 touchdowns. Played basketball all 4 seasons after losing the state title game as a junior. Helped lead Memorial to the 2017 Class 5A state championship.
That seems
Led
impressive.
the team with 11.2 points and 10 rebounds per game as a power forward center. He was a 4-star recruit out of high school, number 4 recruit in the state of Oklahoma. Had offers from Alabama, Missouri, and Tennessee, and in the end looked to stay in home and committed to Oklahoma over Oklahoma State.
That's one of those ones where if Alabama's offering you, then you're a dude.
You know the running back that we
If they
drafted
offered him, you're a dude.
who went to Alabama?
Jerome Ford, yeah.
Yeah. Nick Saban landed a helicopter at the 50-yard line of his high school to recruit him.
Nick Saban choppering around the South. That's amazing. So the kid's from Tampa. Ford's from Tampa. I knew that he played at Alabama. I did not remember him as a recruit.
Yeah.
That's incredible, Jerome
That
Ford.
feels like, I don't know about you, but that really feels like a rolling out of the red carpet if you're
I
asking
think
me.
my guess is that's probably a Tuesday for Nick Saban. Like, I'm sure he has chopper. Yeah, 4-star prospect. Jerome Ford is a 4-star prospect out of Tampa. Oh, Armwood. That's a powerhouse program down there. Yeah, that's big time.
By the way,
It's interesting, though. The other offers are Arizona, Cincinnati, Colorado State, East Carolina. So it's Alabama and then those other schools I mentioned, which is usually there's other like institutions. Go ahead, Kevin.
something to watch in this little college football transfer ditty in the last 45 minutes. Pitt star Jordan Addison is entering the transfer portal.
So he entered it. He's transferred.
that's
It's done.
But
He's
look-
going to
USC.
USC.
That's insane.
So they're saying that he has
We had that.
Now,
$3
hold on.
million to a receiver for next year and a house.
Well, Pete Thamel is reporting he has yet to make up his mind on a destination and no expectation of an imminent decision.
well, he
Is
had
that a Buckeye coming in
He
late?
had no zero chance. He was he had to be in the portal by the 1st, and so once he's in, he has time. But he is running out of it. Like he's absolutely running out of it. But he's in it.
Yeah, I know, and when I know we talked about it in hour 1, but
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that like no decision imminent according to
So,
what they're saying. But is it
Probably
still
said,
open?
"Who else wants? My bidding is open.
Yeah.
Can you
Where's
match
the
it?
Crimson Tide?
Bring it on.
Where's
Yeah.
LSU?
Yeah, Who's
It's
got
a
the money to
danger. It's a
match it?
slippery slope.
Present
Like,
me your offers.
We're already down it.
we're way down it. Real quickly on Ford, you mentioned that was a powerhouse. He was part of a crowded backfield at Armwood, shared snap with Eric Collins, who went to NC State in Northern Illinois, and Brian Sneed, who went to Ohio State before going to Austin Peay.
Yeah, P, I believe.
I know, but I like saying Pay for you.
I know you do. That is pretty great. Yeah, so it's possible Saban just was doing the Tampa thing.
How about
the
this?
Chopper in.
His senior year, he only had 22 carries for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns as a running back, but the coaches found a home for him at slot receiver just to get him on the field. He had 42 catches, 827 yards, and 8 touchdowns, taking them to the championship game. He also lined up on defense in the front 7 and had a couple of sacks.
I'm going to tell you, I mean, this isn't too crazy of a statement. Oh, look at this. We got towels.
What is going on?
A shunning. We go the other way.
Wait, who did you just shun?
He's gone the other way.
What difference does it make? All the accolades.
I have to tell you, it worked. It worked.
I think it worked.
He was devastated
I think
by
he was.
you turning the back.
Done.
We've given
If
the
you-
melon. We've
If
given
you
the melon
get us
award for
banned
excellence.
from the equipment
No, no.
room,
Why? We have no advantage.
What we have gotten
right now. We've got nothing.
Nothing. Pursuit Perfection Award.
Maybe you're
nothing.
getting stuff
Kindness.
somewhere else.
Nothing. Hats off of my
we
head.
got a
nothing.
couple sweatshirts last year.
Nothing.
Nothing.
He did. I don't.
What
you
did
and
I
didn't
get?
get anything.
What sweatshirt did I get?
Didn't we get white ones?
The whole department. got
The
them.
whole department got. We didn't get any special.
No.
Nothing
No.
special.
Which it feels like we should.
Agreed.
And
I mean, we do
now,
name it
like,
in honor.
we've been
so
passed over.
that move that you just did though, legitimately hurt and scorned.
Did he? He was
Yes,
he was
it
shocked.
stopped him in his tracks. He went over and he even mouthed "Oh, come on," like as if he was disappointed by what you had done. Perhaps that's the way. We had been trying to get more with honey than with vinegar.
Call me balsamic, baby.
I like it. I like it. I like where your head's at. Browns fan Sugardale sponsoring grand opening events at two Myers stores. Visit the Canton store on Friday, May 6th.
That
Brunswick
felt
store.
good, by the way. That really made
I
me
wish
feel good.
it would have felt better
Does
for
the
you.
rabbit have the gun now?
if
yeah, I think so.
I believe.
I feel like it.
just even the reflection would have been a big win for you if
To
you
see
could have
that?
seen because it was a legitimate.
I think he was probably surprised.
He was just surprised and a little bit despondent that what had happened. All right, Friday, May 13th, samples, giveaways, special appearances by Browns alumni and shops. For store locations and more details, visit sugardale.com/events.
Gibbe, can you get a newspaper? I feel like next time he comes by, I'm just gonna pop a newspaper.
I'll grab one from my parents. They still get them.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that a great?
Hold
That's
it
a
up.
great move.
It's a great bit.
They used to do that in one of the high schools we played basketball in.
Sure.
When you would get your intros, the whole student section would pop newspapers.
Yeah, I like that.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Don't even want to see
Liars.
you get introduced.
Of course. I
What
wanted
we need
see
to
it.
do,
Yeah.
this is where I get Podolak involved. We get a giant newspaper that just says, "Who's Brad Mellon?" and you hold it up when you read it.
Or just like
Just stabbed in the back.
we are. Yeah.
We were stabbed in the back.
Meloned.
Meloned.
Bishop Zegura. Knifed.
Knifed in the back. Gibby wants to know, give us the top 3 needs for this football team that we still have to address post-draft, post-free agents. We get into that coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are your business operations suffering from internal communication breakdowns? Beau here for my friends at EOX Vantage. These guys are data scientists, also business ops experts. Your EOX Vantage team helps you build a streamlined communication system that brings together your email, chat, intranet, announcements, CRM into one clear flow. Your people, including those who work remotely, gain a centralized hub that encourages collaboration. No more disconnected communication methods that leave team members out of the loop or not on the same page. In fact, real everyday business problems are solved with EOX Vantage. See how other business owners are getting everyone on the same page by visiting EOXVantage.com for more. Gibby wants to know 3 things that still need to be addressed on this roster now that we're through free agency and the draft, and also a 4th that no one is talking about. I feel like in certain extenses we can just talk about the things we've been talking because I think those things are still out there to be addressed.
Yeah, I think the 3 things are still pretty apparent what those although we added a new one. 2 of them I think remain incredibly obvious, right? Number 1, Jadeveon Clowney, and we're seeing our guys recruiting him, new guys recruiting him, older player, everybody's recruiting Jadeveon Clowney. I think that is number 1, and if it's not Jadeveon Clowney, then it's still like a veteran, a proven edge type of a guy. Beau.
Question. Have you heard him meet with anybody else?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought too. It does feel like it's just a matter of time. I
Listen,
don't want to put the cart before the horse. But
no, but I will tell you that people are very confident that Jadeveon Clowney will be playing football for the Cleveland Browns this season.
Yes.
He is a guy that, takes his time.
Sure.
He's looking to see. My guess is the fact that he didn't sign somewhere in wave 1 or wave 2 of free agency tells you that there wasn't a team out there that was willing to give him monster money to be a number 1 guy. I think he loves playing with Myles Garrett. I think he loves this defense. I think he liked the way that he was able to produce in it. 9 sacks, the most he's had since he was a Pro Bowler with the Houston Texans. So from that standpoint, I think he was quite pleased. On the other side of it, what I would say to you is he could also be waiting to see, now that the draft has come and gone, is there a major injury that happens somewhere? Is there a Carl Lawson situation that would make somebody more inclined to pay? I do think, all things being equal, it is most likely that he ultimately ends up back here with the Cleveland Browns. But that's number 1. Number 2 for me is a speedy wide receiver, a speedy veteran wide receiver. I think asking Anthony Schwartz to be that guy for you this year might be asking a lot. I think everybody wants to see him develop into that guy. We have to remember he's still very young at the position in his overall just life in terms of playing. Yeah. And I think that, there are still options for you at wide receiver right now in terms of guys that are still remaining as free agents out there. So could it be, you're taking a look at a guy like a Will Fuller? Could that make a lot of sense for you? A guy who has had a ton of success in the past with your quarterback, Deshaun Watson. So that feels like that's a possibility. Do you think T.Y. Hilton, a guy like T.Y. Hilton, still has a little juice? Because you're not looking to break the bank with this. What you're looking to do is get a veteran who can stress a defense for your football team at a very reasonable rate. And so those are 2 guys. Now, Hilton's more on the tail end of his career, whereas Fuller still very much could be in his prime, but, hasn't really been able to get on the field much lately. So I think that would be number 2. And then number 3 for me is I do think we need a true nickel corner now. I think we need to get a guy on the nickel that is what he does. That's his skill. That's how he makes his money. That's his bread and butter. Because with the trading of Troy Hill, yes, we can kick Greg in, and I think Greg Newsom can do it very, very effectively. I think that you want to have some depth there. And we're going to cross-train guys. We're going to give them opportunities. But I don't know we have somebody on our roster that typically profiles as your slot corner. We heard John Johnson, something he did in with the Rams. And maybe we'll see some of that with our safeties as well. But I do think we can I think we can add a guy there.
So I was surprised you didn't go D-tackle as one of your 3. Just think that confident with who you have, or
I mean, you've got 5 now, so that would be another spot where you say, do you want to bring in a big veteran guy? I don't know that we have to be very judicious, I think, with our money, knowing what's coming down the road. And, is somebody going to be that much better than Sheldon Day? Because if you're looking at the roster right now, here's the deal. If you keep 4 defensive tackles, barring injury, You just signed Taven Bryan.
Yep.
You drafted Elliott in the 3rd round 2 years ago. You drafted Togiai in the 4th round a year ago, and you just drafted Perion Winfrey. So are you moving on from one of your draft picks already?
Yeah.
And then there's Sheldon Day, who just, I feel like, always seems to find his way onto the roster. Now, the Browns know that they were able to cut Sheldon Day, keep him on the practice squad, and then he ended up becoming a full-time member of the roster as it went on. But it does feel like, you know, that's a room that if you went out and signed Akeem Hicks is out there, if you signed somebody like that, it just – then you're going to have to make a tough decision either on a guy you just gave money to with Taven Bryan, or you're going to have to make a tough decision on a guy – that you just drafted. And my guess, Beau, honestly, is we're a team that's going to play with 2 defensive tackles on 1st and 2nd down and 1 on 3rd down.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what Shad Khan had to say about Urban Meyer? Does that interest you?
It really does.
Quote, when you lose the respect, the trust, and an issue of truthfulness, how can you work with someone like that? Shad Khan told Jarrett Bell of USA Today. He continues, it was not about wins and losses. I think when you know someone is not truthful, how can you be around someone, okay? We had Doug Marrone here 4 years. We had Gus Bradley here 4 years. I have nothing but the utmost respect and friendship with them, and that's why they got the time, because it wasn't about respect or truth. It was a matter of wins and losses over 4 years. This is a much bigger deal than that. Was there a development? How'd that go? Did you have an exchange? Was that? Do you feel like that was a fruitful?
I picked these up
to read. Yeah,
to read, and he stood there until I decided to put those papers down. And when I put them down, he was looking right at me. And you know what he said? I'm hurt.
I told you.
And you know what he said? This doesn't hurt me here. He pointed his foot. Then he pointed his knee.
Nope.
Elbow. And he said right here. And I said, you know what? I'm hurt.
Me too.
Same. Hurt. Join the club.
Yep. Join the club.
You could have prevented all of this.
Not hurt.
No.
Vengeful.
Well, it makes me feel you're speaking my language right now with some of these things. Promises made, promises not kept. Right?
Truthfulness.
Yeah. Do you want to be around that?
You're Shad Khan. I'm not putting that on him.
I feel like if I was Shad Khan in this situation, I would have the sweatshirt because I would
hoodies.
just buy the factory that made them if nobody was going to give me one.
Does he have to pay out everything?
No, he does not. In fact, they have not reached a settlement. And Khan contends he was fired with cause, and I believe that they have plenty of evidence to prove that that is the case. That's my hunch on how this thing goes. Gibby has a little activity for us. We'll do that coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. Gibby, you have an exercise for us?
I do,
Activity?
but first and foremost,
Oh.
Rex Chapman tweeting out, someone climbed the 60-floor Salesforce Tower in San Francisco today. Without a harness, they just climbed it.
Is that the Transamerica, the old Transamerica building?
The pyramid?
No, it is definitely not a pyramid if you go and look at it. And the guy looks like he's wearing like some socks that have good good traction and some gloves. There's no harness or anything.
Why has he done this?
He literally climbed to the top of the building where he was met with authorities and taken into custody. But he climbed 60 stories.
Jeez.
Yeah. You should look at follow
Is
Philip
that Spider-Man?
Lewis. Philip Lewis has a video of someone inside the office as the guy goes past their window climbing the building.
Why is he doing this?
No idea. But he did it. Congratulations on all your successes.
So there's a lot of polls. There's a lot of things for him actually to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things for him adhere to here.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's
you
not.
want to
It's
go
a free
60
climb.
stories?
No, of course not. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying, like, this is there's a lot of benches for him to climb onto. I mean, this is as climbs go, outrageous climbs without harnesses. This is doable.
And it's a consistent pattern that he's working with.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing over and over again. Good job out of you.
A fun little exercise. Oh,
He made it, huh?
he did. Made it all the way to the top. Good for you,
Good
buddy.
for you, buddy.
Buying you a beer and bailing you out of jail if I'm your buddy.
What's the jail on that? Is that a night in jail?
Probably. Then you got to get an attorney. You probably got to go to court because you're on private property. And I don't know. You didn't destroy anything.
Yeah.
But you're on probation for a little while. Been there. Done it. A fun little exercise. Time to pick the best team in each division of the NFL. Then you can pick one team that's the best of the rest, but only one, and then we'll rank from 9 to 1.
Well, this is fun, Gibby. What a great thought by you.
That's it for the week, kids. Tapped out.
It's going to be a long week for you after I leave.
I've got plenty of guests booked. We'll
All right,
go.
AFC East, Bills.
Same.
AFC North.
Browns.
I got to go Bengals right now.
Come on.
They're in the Super Bowl. What do you want? I'm going to have us coming around.
We
We're
went
gonna be
2-0
fine.
against them. We're 4-0 against Joe Burrow.
They were
Does
in
that
the
not
Super
matter
Bowl.
to you?
Yes, it matters to me. I'm just
Apparently
saying they were
He's
in
going
the
to come
Super
back
Bowl.
around, he
Boy.
said.
It's all going to work itself out.
I hope we're the +1 for you then.
You're safe.
Okay, all right, good.
AFC South, Colts.
Yep. Same.
AFC West, Chiefs.
Chargers.
This is the fascinating one. The NFC East now.
Cowboys.
Dallas.
Then again, maybe it wasn't.
No. They're in fact this
have
is
the-
a
so you
pretty
have the
easy exercise.
I mean, the Chargers would have to take a leap. They got to prove they can win.
I think they added Khalil Mack. They added J.C. Jackson.
They've done a nice job. It's good. It's a really
They
good
improved
roster.
their offensive line.
It's just weird because they weren't as good as the sum of their parts last year.
They're ready. It's time. Are the Chiefs?
Mahomes.
No Tyreek?
Mahomes.
I got to tell you.
By the way, Sky Moore is going to do just fine there. That's
Watching-
like of all the picks, that's perfect landing spot. That's
That's
him
a good
there.
one. Watching Herbert in that game against the Raiders where he was just making unbelievable play after unbelievable play, I'm pretty bullish on him. And I think their D is
You know, by the way, we're not even talking about Denver, who was
Nasty.
really good anyway.
Or
and
the
then they
Raiders,
added, they added
who went to the
Russ.
playoffs last year and added Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Amongst
NFC
others, and Chandler Jones.
Yeah. NFC North, Packers.
Yes. South Tampa, West.
That's the worst
Rams.
division in football, is the NFC North. That or the NFC East.
AFC South's worse than that.
I don't think so. Well, you're talking about the strength of Green Bay.
So Green Bay's the one.
Green Bay's, yeah.
You
But
prob-
that, like Detroit will be intriguing.
Minnesota's solid.
Chicago's terrible.
Awful.
Terrible.
I don't think Detroit's that terrible.
No, I didn't say they were. I said they could be intriguing.
I think it would go like this.
Actually, you know what? NFC South is god awful too.
I think the 1 seed would be Green Bay. 2 and 3 would be Indy, Tennessee. 4 and 5 would be Minnesota and Detroit if you were doing those two.
Yeah. Bucks and then ram it.
I
Browns
just.
would be my.
By the way, NFC North. I'm still not sure how great the Packers are going to be. I get Aaron Rodgers and the Aaron Rodgers factor, but you still have to have people to throw the football to.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't.
Watson will do great there. I mean, he'll do great, but
again, you lost 3 wideouts,
no, I know it. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
and you lost some stuff on the defense too.
The NFC South's in that boat too. Like Atlanta is in a conversation as the worst team in football.
Yes.
On a very short list. Carolina, I think they've botched everything the last 2 years. Everything that could be botched, they botched. They thought a year ago they were getting Deshaun. They tried this year to get Deshaun. They come away with nothing. They have Sam Darnold in a poo-poo platter. Matt Corral, just a mess, an absolute mess. And the Saints, nothing there.
Just muddling at 500.
Eventually, Tom's got to get old, doesn't he?
Yes.
Maybe. So who's your plus one, Zegura?
Brownies for me.
Cincy.
Same.
Well, here we go. There we are.
Although you could easily convince me with the AFC West, the best division.
Yes.
It's pretty ridiculous. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Like, you're
That's
forcing
pretty
us to
crazy.
do this. All 4 of those teams would be, I think, in the overall top 10.
You'd be cheating the exercise.
Yeah.
Or certainly overall top 12.
Well, the 3 Denver, Kansas City, and LA would all be in the top 10
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So
who's number 9?
Indy.
Number 9.
yeah, Colts are 9. Cowboys 10
Cowboys 8.
or 8. I mean, sorry. Yeah.
Agreed.
Because we did 9 instead of 10.
Now it gets hard. Now I could make arguments for all of them.
Everybody else is a Super Bowl contender.
Yes.
Okay.
I put Cincy 7.
Yeah. I mean, you would do us or Cincy.
I did us 6.
So fine. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I picked Cincinnati, so I'll go us, Cincy, us 7, Cincy 6.
Okay. Now comes the fun part.
I've got Green Bay 5.
So I think the Bills are the most. I almost want to do this the other way. I think the Bills right now are the most complete team in football.
I have them at number 1.
And then I would say I still believe in the Chiefs. So I'd probably have the Chiefs 2.
I have the Rams 2.
I would have Rams 3.
I have
Bucks, Packers.
I have Tampa 3, and I have the Chargers 4.
And then Packers, Bucks, or Bucks, Packers
And
in
then-
some order.
And then Packers, Browns, Bengals, Dallas, Indy.
Yeah. But if you're doing top 10 teams in football and you're doing that conversation, then I've got Buffalo, Cincinnati, us, and 3 in the AFC West. 7
you're
of the top
adding-
10 are in the AFC West, in the AFC.
That's right. Yep.
7.
And then the other 3 would be Green Bay,
the
Tampa
Bucks,
Bay,
and the Rams.
Yep. Agreed. 100%. That's your top 10 in the NFL.
Yeah. There are 7 or 8 teams in the AFC that are Super Bowl contenders. There are 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's only one team I think in 2 teams in the AFC that go into this year and say we're probably not ready to make a run at the postseason, and that's Jacksonville and Houston.
Yes.
Everybody else thinks that they're ready to make a. Pittsburgh believes it. The Jets
If
probably
you're
believe
playing
it.
well at the right time.
Jets had a great draft.
Jets
Dolphins
believe it. Dolphins
got
believe
Tyreek
it.
Hill. They believe it. Patriots believe it. Everybody else. Think of that.
And right now,
14 of the 16 think they're playoff teams. In the NFC, the only teams I think that probably think, okay, Cowboys and Eagles think it. There's no way the Giants and Redskins do, or Commanders, whatever.
Commanders? I guarantee the Commanders
You think they think it?
I think they do.
okay,
They're
good
delusional.
luck, Carson Wentz.
I
Good
think
luck.
they do. I'm not saying.
Okay, that's fine. I guess if I'm going to count the Jets, I can count the Commanders.
Yeah.
But I don't
No,
think
the Jets are better than the Commanders.
Commanders have an excellent, one of the best defensive fronts in football.
Okay, well, we
good
said that, but
defense,
they have no.
it's a.
Well,
Who did they
Wentz-
draft at receiver? Dotson. They got Dotson and McLaurin.
That was a bit of a
Antonio
reach.
Gibson. Logan Thomas.
In the AFC North, NFC North,
Get
the
outta
Packers are a playoff team. Think they're a playoff team.
That's it. Minnesota could
And,
make the
and
playoffs.
Green Bay, that's it. NFC South, it's only the Bucks. I mean, I don't think the Saints, Panthers, or Falcons. None
New
of them.
Orleans probably thinks they can make the playoffs.
I'm sure that's their goal.
Yeah.
And then in the NFC West, Cardinals, Rams, and Niners
Yes.
think they're playoff teams.
Yep.
But I think there's only 3 teams in the NFC that think they're Super Bowl contenders: Packers, Bucks, and Rams. 49ers might. They got a real interesting. You heard John Lynch on Garoppolo
No, what did he say?
talking
They
about.
might keep him, right?
Well, they said that the surgery really screwed things up because it put everything on hold, and they're not giving him away, so he may end up being back. And I think that's most likely because I don't see a trade scenario for him. So what do they do? Like, if he's better in practice, they have to play him.
Of course.
Unless Lance is made. So, but didn't they say this year is it for Lance? Like, away we go?
That's
Go
what they
play?
said, but, I mean, what can they do?
Are you hearing anything on Lance? Like, is there more to him than what we've seen?
I don't believe that.
Very
They
quiet.
give up a lot.
They give the 3 1s.
Yeah. How's Pedro feel about this?
He's not an optimist by nature.
You're kidding.
It's amazing that I actually am one. So he is no, he doesn't.
You
think
were
that
the yin to
Lance-
his yang. That you balanced the house. Yeah, your joy balanced the house. That's what you were. That's where you came from. That's how it all worked. But how did?
But
how
he would
does
always,
feel
and
about
yeah,
it?
you're right. He would when I tried to up my joy, he would squelch it.
Of course he would.
Nerd,
Of course he would bring it down. Right.
give me a coffee.
Well, that's
There
not
she
blowing
is.
kisses at our equipment,
There's
man.
pure joy.
There's pure joy walking.
Walking right through. How much on a scale of 1 to 10? How much does she hate that we're talking about her on the show, Miss K?
I mean, it's always favorable. So I don't think.
I felt like
I
that
don't
was
think
like,
higher
what do you
than a
want from
3.
me?
No, I think she's just like, why are you still staring at me? Because I like you.
Because I liked you.
You're my wife.
So what are they saying? What do they say? What's Pedro getting? What are his reports on Lance?
Not optimistic.
Can't not.
I
No.
haven't heard.
I'd rather have
anything out of
Garoppolo.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
wild.
the last 2 seasons, the Jimmy Garoppolo played.
When he plays, they're a Super Bowl
He,
contender.
they went to a Super Bowl. They went to the NFC Championship game, and we're right there.
Yeah.
They were a play that was perfectly called and schemed in the moment that did not work away from winning that game because I think once they stopped him when they had used that pulling motion and they actually
Yep.
ran it back the other way and it got stopped, and I think it burst some of Kyle's brain temporarily. Like he was like, "Wait a second, we've set this up all playoffs for this moment. It was the perfect call. We got the perfect look, and then one guy just wrecked this play, and I think it just was like he's like this play was supposed to work,
yeah.
and then he punted, and then it was over.
It's done. Yeah.
By the way, I know you're not hard of seeing, but I would invite you to really quickly
Okay.
get yourself to my Twitter. You'll have to search it. You can search Nathan Zegura,
Okay.
and you can find it. And what you'll see is I retweeted a video of Perrion Winfrey.
How do you
already
spell Zegura? Is it a Z-A?
Z-E
Thought it was an S.
Zegura?
Z-E-G-U-R-A. And Perrion Winfrey is doing squats with so much weight on it that a bar, which is a metal bar,
Mm-hmm.
is bending like it is a noodle.
It looks like a noodle. Very good. Very, very good.
That looks like if I did that, it would put me through the earth.
I think you're right. Be like Bugs Bunny when he would lift the weight. It would
Yeah.
come down. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a real one. He's a real one. So much more to come. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Man, it was good to have John Johnson in here.
It was great.
Is it possible that now that we're back in this, he could be a friend of the program?
I believe that he is a friend of the program.
Working towards it.
Yeah.
I think he's a big friend.
Yeah, I like him, man. That guy was good.
I enjoyed it.
Very good.
So according to amateur scouts on Twitter, we're saying that was a minimum of 495 pounds that we were getting there from Mr. Winfrey.
495.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah. I assume those are all 45-pound plates, right?
They could also be hundreds
Oh, that's in play?
in play. I mean, that feels like a lot. I don't think people do that. 495 feels like a great number.
Ton. Yeah, it feels like a ton. I mean,
That's like
anytime you get a steel bar bouncing.
bending like a noodle.
Yeah, that's a lot going on. All right, next level coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.